I knew not to over caffeinate, and I ate food, or else I'd be like up here. And so I'm gonna settle in. Okay, ooh, it's thick. Okay, oh my gosh. Rules. There are none. Have fun, be yourself, say less. You're Aquarius too, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We don't do rules. Mm-hmm. We break them and rewrite them. I'm good at that. Oh, introduce myself. Well, I'm Hanna. My name is Hanna Schlegel. I go by Hanna Bagel because soon I'll be Hanna Schwartz. And also, my very first email in like 5th grade, I made it Hanna.bagel, and that's just kind of like how I introduce myself, because I'll always be Hanna Bagel no matter what. I am an entrepreneur. I don't know why I'm still like learning how to like accept, oh, that's a title for me, but I am an entrepreneur. I'm a business owner. I have been for like 3 years now. Yeah, I mean, I just, I'm a people person. I'm a space holder, facilitator in breath, yoga, sauna, cold plunge. It's, I'm trying to simply answer how to introduce myself here. So I guess I can just keep it at that. Coming in here, I knew that Tally would give me an envelope. So I gave her one, and I made it in origami. And I was telling her about, as a kid, I was always very creative. I taught myself like some origami, and I used to like write poems. I actually came across some poems that I wrote growing up, and some of them are like super cringe, like a lot of love notes. But it's nice to reflect on like who and what you were as a child, as an adult, because as we grow older, we're just becoming more of ourselves. So I'm saying that now in this introduction because I'm also creative. On a scale from 1 to 10, how authentically are you living your life right now? I mean, it's safe to say a 10. I'm feeling very authentic in myself. I believe that authenticity is all about living true to your values as a person. And so depending on what your values are, just because you're authentic doesn't make you like a great person necessarily. So I like to say that I'm living a 10 authentically because I'm living in alignment with my values, which is self-expression, expansion, growth, integrity, truth, and fun. Like, I think people sometimes forget to like actually have fun. And I like to bring fun into things. And it's interesting, like, being in this digital world when you talk about authenticity, because I think there's also an added layer to like, oh, like, yes, I can show up online authentically, but the way or how I create or post content doesn't necessarily value how authentic I am as a person. And I say that because I think I've grappled with being a space holder, being a leader, a business owner. I recognize that I am a public figure. I do have a responsibility for my energy. Like, I have to really show up for myself and take care of myself in order to lead teams, to grow communities, to be a sister, a fiance, a friend. And so just reflecting on what it means to be authentic, and in this chair in front of this camera, I've been kind of learning how to be authentic online in a way that is to me. And so sometimes I share more some days, and some days I don't. And it's really funny. It tends to kind of go with my menstrual cycle. Girl, when I'm ovulating on my follicular, you're going to see me on my stories like every day, all day. And then there's like a couple of weeks where I'm like, peace. So I would say I'm feeling pretty authentic. I think my friends would also say that I'm a pretty authentic person too. That feels good. I'm going to let that land. How was learning to regulate through breathwork, sauna, and cold plunge change the way you show up in your life? Ooh. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have found breathwork, heat and cold exposure, therapy if it wasn't for my yoga practice. I started yoga when I was about 15 or 16 in the basement of my best friend's house. Her mom was a yoga instructor, and she had all like the DVDs. So we would pop in like Gaiam and just roll out a mat and just do shapes. I'm like, this is awesome. And I didn't really think it was anything other than just like hanging out with a friend until I moved halfway through high school. And I went through most certainly the darkest period of my life at like 17 to 18. And when I moved, I didn't know anyone. Like literally the floor was ripped out from underneath me. So all I had were these silly DVDs that I would pop into my laptop. I guess my laptop still had the capacity to like have a DVD put into it. And YouTube, and I would just, make shapes and just move my body. And I think I was still kind of learning, like, what does it mean to actually live neck down? I was just so in my head constantly and developing as a teenager and just going through like a really rough at-home life. And so yoga really helped me come into my body and accept myself, which helped me stepping into college, where I really felt like I was able to take shape of my life. I could actually create my destiny, and that was like my glow up. College was great for me. I did all the things. I grew my resume. I studied business management and marketing. I was very much a professional, but also, funny enough, this was also in a basement of the dorm complex I lived in. I lived in the basement practicing yoga, and I had recently gone to Urban Outfitters of all places and found a book on how to meditate. I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna buy that. And so I was like in the basement of my dorm room reading this book, and it's like, sit still, focus on your breathing. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll like do that. And I will never forget it. In the basement of that dorm room, I found like this inner peace and stillness that I've never experienced before. And so I preface all of this because I taught myself yoga through like DVDs and YouTube, taught myself meditation through a book, because I just had so much pain in my body, so much pain in my life, that I was just looking to find some hope and pleasure and enjoyment. Yoga and meditation really helped me with that. Long story short, yoga really helped me meet some of the most important people in my life. My best friend Montana, we ran a yoga studio together, Hanna in Montana, for like 2.5 years, and that was awesome. Her as a lead teacher, me as the manager, while also teaching classes. It was like the best thing ever. I learned so much, and I've built such a community there, and that's where I met my fiance Matt as well. So I just like have so much love for Yoga 6 South Hills. Shout out, I love you guys. So I feel it's important to preface the story of why I found breath work, why I found sauna and cold plunge. So that was a tangent, but getting back to the question. So again, how has learning to regulate through breath work, sauna, and cold plunge changed the way you show up in your life? Well, I felt through at this point, I've been practicing yoga and meditation for like 13 to 15 years. And breath work in particular, where I'm sitting and focusing on breath patterns to shift my state and to regulate my nervous system, has really been something I've been doing since my corporate job, working in construction of all places, doing project management. And breath work has been so helpful because yes, yoga, you can move your body and find stillness in your body. Meditation, you can find this sense of ease in your brain, but there would still be times after doing yoga and breath work that I would feel like restless, and just like there was just this like bottom of the barrel just stuff that just needed taken out. And so doing breath work has really helped me like shake some of that stuff up and out. That's been really fundamental for me. My first cold plunge ever was, oh my gosh, like 4 years ago. It was just this big tub of ice. I was petrified, and my friend Hannah was like on the lip of the tub, kneeled down just like this with me, like, it's okay, like just step in, you're gonna be fine. I was definitely freaking out in my mind, and I just knew that I wanted to do something really hard that was terrifying to see how I held myself through it. And so thank God I had her guidance. She helped me get into the tub. And I don't know why, but everyone told me, you gotta dunk when you get in. So my first cold plunge ever, it was like definitely in the 40s. I went in and I dunked and I came up for air. And the feeling of, it gave me that feeling of when your like parents drop you off at daycare and you sob, like you're crying, you're like this empty feeling, this just like longing, this like terrifying fright. I felt that in my body, and in my breath, I was like, like freaking out. And I remembered, like, okay, in the nose, out the mouth. And I have this on video. I can see myself regulating myself through breath in the cold. And I still remember that moment till this day, and just the shock that it was in my system. And I sat there for 5 minutes. And when I stepped out, I just had this rush of endorphins, this sense of accomplishment, confidence in a way that I've never felt before. And I was like, oh my God, I just did that. And I looked over, and Matt, my boyfriend at the time, now fiance, he just got out of a barrel tub. So he was going through his own experience too. And I was just like, wow, this like just blew my mind. My brain was firing on all cylinders without even having to like take a substance. It just blew me away. So doing cold, heat, and breath therapies has been instrumental in this next phase of my development as a person, as a leader, and they're tools that I come back to every single day. In terms of the sauna, I've always had a relationship with the heat. I'm very comfortable with the heat. Most female bodies are. I would much rather sweat than freeze. So I love it. Hot yoga, that's my jam. That's what I studied yoga at Southwest Power Yoga, heated power vinyasa studio. I'm like, yep, that's it. And so I've always really enjoyed the heat. Nothing puts me in that deep, grounded state than a really nice sweat. And sitting in the sauna is different than doing a hot yoga class. I'm not exactly sure how to put it into words right now, how it's different. It just is in the brain. You should just try it and see what you think. So let me just make sure this feels complete. How has learning to regulate through breathwork, sauna, and cool plunge changed the way you show up in your life? Because there's a lot there. I mean, really, all of these practices are fundamental, holistic tools that are always available for me, no matter where I'm at or what I'm going through. Yeah. I'm going to let that feel complete because I can literally talk about that forever. Do you feel like you can fully express your authentic self and still be a leader? Yes, absolutely. I do feel I can fully express myself and still be a leader. I think that's part of what being a leader is. I do recognize two things, that there are energy leaks. You have to be ferocious at protecting your boundaries and just always consciously checking yourself. Like, what am I sharing? Why am I sharing this? Is this serving people or is it serving myself? So as a leader, I'm always in service of other people. And because of that, I have to fill up myself too. And so if I'm filling myself up but also emptying myself to other people, then that's not really serving anyone. So one, energy leaks. And then two is also, dare I say, cancel culture. So when it comes to cancel culture, which even saying that word for whatever reason just feels so scary, because like, who wants to be canceled? Like, literally anyone can take anything you say and cancel you. I can be posting online, it's a beautiful day for a walk, and someone could say, there's people that don't have legs, how dare you go for a walk? And it's like, oh shit. I understand that, God, and that's why I'm going for a walk, because I have legs and I'm grateful and I'm doing it because I know there's people that don't. So I think that's what can be hard as a leader, as a public figure, as someone posting online and sharing their life with the world, is being able to balance those energetic boundaries, still being able to share your truth and be authentic, but also conscientious of who you're speaking to, and just read the room. Like, we're all humans. We're all on the same team. I didn't even read the first two words, but okay. This one's gonna be good. I saw wildest dream. Like, yeah. Okay. If your wildest dreams had already come true, what would your future self tell you to stop holding back? My future self would tell me to stop holding back from limitations and fear. Because if you're talking about wildest dreams. Like, oh, I want to like live by the beach, but also be able to travel wherever I want, but also have kids that have like a great education, but also still be able to like be a snowbird and live in Pittsburgh for a little bit. Like all these things I'm like rattling off just now, and my brain immediately is like, oh, you can't do that because XYZ, and society hasn't structured it for this. So I love being able to just kind of like throw all that out the window. I mean, I wouldn't be doing anything that I'm doing as a business owner now if I was held back by limitations and fear. And so it's just a great reminder. Thank you, future self, for reminding me again to let go of limitations and fear. And of course, the cliche thing to say, I think it's okay to call it cliches, like don't worry about what people think. I mean, you do have to worry about what people think to an extent, if you're serving people, but you also can't like let that get to you. So yeah, just like don't hold back and just go for it and have fun. Simple as that. You get one life to live. This is not a dress rehearsal. Let's go. It's time. Any final thoughts? Let me feel into this. Here's the other thing. I've recognized on this path of being an authentic person, on this path of being a human, it's okay to recognize and accept your gifts and actually live in your gifts. I think for a while I would be so afraid of like, oh, are people gonna think I'm egotistical or whatever? But no, actually, I think it's really beautiful, and I wish for everyone the capacity to reflect inward and be like, this is what I'm really good at. This is what I'm gifted at. So like, let me shine that light on this world. And so I think my final thoughts in this whole theme of the hot seat is I'm radically accepting that my gifts are a responsibility. And if I hold back, then that's not fair to myself or the world or my loved ones. And so I'm just going to keep doing what it is that people love. And that is being a great listener, a great friend, an open-hearted, warm person that also has boundaries. So don't like step, because I will bite. But then we can talk about it, and then I'll give you a hug. That feels complete to me.